Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Parthapratim Bora from Department of Sociology, Dibrugarh University, Assam. The title of this module is Functionalism, Neo-Functionalism, System Analysis, Niklas Luhmann, from the paper Contemporary Social Theory. So, in the introductory module to Functionalism, Neo-Functionalism and System Analysis, we gave an introduction to what does the functionalism means and what are the various theories, who are the various theories who are associated with functionalism. Basically, we talk in the context of the work of Talcott Parsons and his predecessor, like that of the influence of Durkheim. And we also try to see how the work of Talcott Parsons was later on taken over by the work of Merton, Luhmann, etc. And especially in the 1960 or the post-1980, we also see how there was a criticism to the problems that were the part of functionalism itself. So, the neo-functionalism emerged as a kind of continuation of the functionalism, but they try to do away with the problem that were the part of functionalism. So, in such a broader context, we will be discussing the work of Niklas Luhmann. So, functionalism, as you know, is basically associated with the understanding of function, how the various part is associated with the functional prerequisite, or how the various part of a society have some functional prerequisite in order to have the survival of the society. So, this was basically a kind of understanding that is associated with the teleological understanding. So, it is more associated with the idea of integration, or how the various part is associated with the integration of the whole system. That was a kind of structural functional analysis. So, in that context, we will try to see the work of Niklas Luhmann, the various perspectives that he developed within the broader functionalist perspective, and what are the criticisms that were arising in a Luhmann work, and how the Luhmann's work was, on the one hand, had some similarity with the Parsons' work, and on the other hand, also had kind of dissimilarity with that of Parsons' work. If we see the Niklas Luhmann as a person or as a kind of work, there is a kind of invisible communication between the norms and controls, and this forms the cornerstone of Luhmann's system theory. As Luhmann put it, societies are neither a group of acting individuals nor a single cooperative actor. Rather, a social system based on communication reinvents itself from time to time. Though he criticized Talcott Parsons, yet Luhmann worked under his guidance for some years. In later years, he developed his own theory. He was one of the legends in the field of system analysis. And if we see the work of Niklas Luhmann, he was basically influenced by Parsonian ideas. Luhmann refined and modified the landscape of his thought as well as the insights of his capabilities to develop his own theories. There is virtually no theme or the topic left that Luhmann had not touched upon. So, the prolific nature of the Luhmann work can be seen from the vast number of work that was done by the Luhmann. Say, for example, he has written almost like 50 books and 300 articles in the period between 1963 to 1997. So, that was the large number of work that was done by the Luhmann, which was on the one hand influenced by the work of Talcott Parsons, but on the other hand, he was also trying to relook or try to reconceptualize the idea of functionalism, which was different from that of the work of Talcott Parsons. His work deals with a range of topics like ecological communication, differentiation of society, social systems, and communicative theory. He himself described his theory as a labyrinth-like or non-linear, and deliberately does so to prevent them from being understood too quickly, which will only produce simplistic misunderstanding. Now, let us discuss the methodological background of Luhmann. If we see the methodological background of the Luhmann's work, we can see how he had influenced by the work of various scholars like that of Husserl's phenomenology or to that of Derrida's understanding, and even he was taking the influence of the Parsonian social system. So, in case of methodological background, we see the large number of influence that was there in the work of Luhmann. So Luhmann theoretical abilities are drawn from large number of scholars and the ideas. So in that context, we can also talk about how, being influenced by many scholars, Luhmann pointed out that society finds itself in a profound theoretical crisis. For him, this crisis is led to the crisis in sociology, which is the product of the following. He's talk about the sociology failed to observe and accounts for its own operation. According to Luhmann, a sociologist sees himself as a subject outside his topic. However, for the purpose of a theory of society, this view is untenable. So, the work on such a theory necessarily involves self-referential operation. This only can be communicated within the system of society. The method in sociology have failed to account for the complex nature of contemporary society. In his own word, there is no theoretical description of the problem that the modern society has to face today. This is true, for example, in case of ecological problem concerning with the individual. And it is also true in case of the entire array of the increasing therapeutic needs and many other things to boot. So, as we can see, the problems that are seen by the Luhmann in case of sociology are mainly ranges from the two aspects. On the one hand, he talks about how the problem of sociology lies in the fact that they do not see the operation of the work or how the study of the sociology should concern with their own topic. On the other hand, basically the study of sociology is problematic when they fail to see the subject or how their relation as a subject is associated with the study of the topic. The second problem he also sees in case of the work of sociology is that the sociology fail to have a kind of theoretical understanding that of the complex problem that are facing by the society. So in that context, he gave the example of the problem like ecological problem. This complex problem cannot be understood with the theoretical proposition given by sociology. And these are the two important challenges that are associated with sociology as given by Luhmann. Hence, Luhmann argues for a new mode of theorizing to face the complexities of the modern social order in a globalized network and a neoliberal time. So, for him, sociology is generally characterized as post-human, where the subject of analysis is the society as a whole, and the basic unit of society and the sociological analysis is not embodied human subject, but rather instances of impersonal communication. Now let us see the idea of social system from the Luhmann understanding. For Luhmann, social system includes all functional systems in a modern society. Those are equally important and irreplaceable. He excludes a ruling class that can govern society as a whole and denies any class relation and class identity over other social relation or collective identities. Hence, for Luhmann, the social system is a system of communication, and as a communicative system, it is differentiated into various functional systems such as family, law, economy, science, etc. These systems are structured and codified. Niklas Luhmann, as a student of Talcott Parsons, utilizes most of his ideologies. However, he sees social system as an organic system capable of self-production. System produce basic element, self-organization. System create their own boundaries as well as internal structure and self-referencing. Each element refer to their system itself and are closed system. Now let us see the concept of autopoiesis. The very word autopoiesis is derived from the Greek root autos, meaning self, and poiein, mean to produce. As a whole means the self-production and self-reproduction. Hence, autopoietic systems are systems. Those reproduce themselves from within themselves. For Luhmann, the concept of autopoiesis is not simply limited to biological system, but can be applicable to large number of non-biological systems too. In line with the general system tradition, Luhmann tries to abstract from the original biological concept of autopoiesis into a transdisciplinary concept of autopoiesis. For him, this concept is very much applicable when the element of a system are reproduced by the element of the system such as living, psychic and the social. The elements of the social system as understood by the Lohmann. According to Lohmann, the main element of the social system are following. First one is communication. The earlier theories usually treat communication as an asymmetrical process of transferring meaning or the information from the sender to the receiver. Adopting the speech theory of the Karl Buchler, Lohmann stated that communication is a combination of the three components: information, utterance and understanding. The next one is interpretation, social versus psychic. For Lohmann, the human being is not conceptualized as forming a systematic unity, but a conglomeration of organic and psychic system. The former, that is organismic, consists of the biological, while the latter, that is psychic, consists of thought. Though they are contrary to each other at operational level, yet are structurally coupled or taken together. So, Lohmann considered society as a first-order social system that differs from economic and legal system. This is because the latter has no other social system like environment. On the other hand, society's environment consists of natural and the psychic system, but all are coupled for the smooth functioning of the social system. Next is communication and action. Though Lohmann gives importance on communication, he never neglects the idea of action. For him, action is needed for the reproduction of the system. While Habermas treats communication as some type of action, Lohmann's communication is a synthesis of the threefold selection of utterance, information and understanding, as explained earlier. However, the action by itself cannot account for all the three selections, leaving aside understanding. Hence, Lohmann argues that by simply treating communication as action means neglecting the concept of communication itself. While understanding the society and the interaction and the organization in the society, Lohmann sees that there exists three most important types of social system: the society, face-to-face interaction and organization. So, the society, face-to-face interaction and organization are the three most important types of social system. On the basis of communication, these three reproduce themselves. As they produce different kind of communication, they are treated as different systems. Let us analyze them. First, society. It is a system that creates and recreates all communication. Hence, no communication is possible outside society. Society exists as a singular, that is world society. It is the autopoietic system par excellence. All communication are the product by the own element or communication within the society, where the border of society are the borders of communication. It is the society that encompasses the rest of the two social systems, such as interaction and organization within. For Lohmann, in the course of evolution, society has to undergo the following structural changes, that is segmentation, core periphery, stratification and functionally differentiated. Next one is interaction. Face-to-face interaction are the system which reproduce themselves on the basis of communication, which are, in other words, based on the perception of the physical presence of their participants. Every communication refers to the fact that all participants perceive each other as present. However, one thing that needs to be kept in mind that every interactional communication must be considered on the basis of what to be considered as present or absent. This distinction makes the communication interactional. Then next one is the organization. Lohmann treated organizations as social systems which reproduce themselves on the basis of decisions. They are systems, those consist of decisions and that themselves produce the decision of which they consist through the decision which they consist. He rejects the general idea about decision as a choice and choice among alternative. Modifying this, he suggests that decisions are a specific form of communication produced by the social system, the organization. So from the module we have seen that how by the influence of the Parsonian ideas, Luhmann refined and modified the landscape of his thought as well as the insights of his capabilities to develop his own theories. With the publication of his Theory of Society, Luhmann became a world-renowned sociologist. Luhmann's theoretical abilities are drawn from large number of scholars and their ideas. These include Husserl phenomenology, rework of it through Derrida's deconstruction, theories that were taken from Wiener's cybernetics, accounts of emergence and self-organization, that is autopoiesis, drawn from biology and structural functional account of Parsonian social system. For Luhmann, as you see, the social system is a system of communication, and as a communicative system, it is differentiated into various functional systems such as family, law, economy, and science. These systems are structured and codified. The central point around which Luhmann developed his theory of social system has been derived from the writing of Chilean biologists H. Maturana and F. Varela. He spoke analyzes autopoietic systems, which are those systems which reproduce themselves from within themselves. The element of social system are communication, which combination of the three elements, that is the information, utterance, understanding and acceptance and rejection, interpretation and communication and action. According to Luhmann, there exists three most important types of social system: the society, face-to-face interaction and organization. So in this module we are discussing the Luhmann's understanding of functionalism within the broader context of functionalism and the neo-functionalism. So in the initial part we were discussing what were the influences on the work of Luhmann. So we see that the Luhmann was influenced by the diverse scholars like that of Husserl, Derrida, etc. Also he was largely influenced by the work of Talcott Parsons. And despite the influence of this defined diverse methodological background, he had his own unique work in functionalism. So he was a prolific writer that was seen from the large number of books, more than 50 books he has written and more than 300 articles he has published. So for Luhmann, the understanding of the social system was seen in terms of communication system. So he also talked about how there is a problem of sociology, and he saw the problem of sociology, as we have already discussed, in the context how sociology failed to see or to differentiate the subject from the position that they were having in the subject of study. So that was the failure of sociologists to see that the subject they are studying need to be taken into account in terms of their own position. And secondly, Luhmann also talked about the problem that is associated with the sociology in terms of how it failed to theorize the complex problem in the society. So in the another context, Luhmann also developed the idea of autopoiesis. So autopoiesis basically comes from the idea of self-reproduction. So being influenced by the idea of organismic analogy, he basically talked about the possibility of self-reproduction for the social system. So in that context, we can talk about how the social system can reproduce itself. Then he, while talking about the social system or the element of social system in terms of communication, he was basically talking about how the communication need to be talked about in terms of inference, utterance, etc. Then he also talked about the idea of action, how we need to take into account the question of action and communication. So he basically talked about the significance of looking the both. So this was the brief understanding of the work of Niklas Luhmann in the broader context of functionalism. So but what we need to keep in mind, the functionalism which basically emerged as a kind of abstract understanding of the thing, or on the other hand the functionalism which basically talk about how there is a functional prerequisite of the each part found a new interpretation with the work of Niklas Luhmann. Thank you.